I want to add this as a section because I always hear people say, what's the harm? If a grieving person feels better after a psychic reading, shouldn't we just let it be? Live and let live? But here's the thing. Mediums absolutely cause harm, and they do it all the time, especially when they wrap themselves in the warm glow of healing, all while playing fast and loose with people's emotions, memories, and in some cases, medical advice, because they do slip into that a lot. This isn't a theoretical argument here either. Skeptical investigators have been pointing out real-life examples for years of the harm being done. Take Dr. Karen Stolznow, a linguist and longtime paranormal skeptic. She wrote for the James Randi Foundation in an article. She critiqued one of Teresa Caputo's episodes where Caputo claimed to be haunted by the spirit of a deceased little boy. Caputo described him being overwhelmed, unable to eat, sleep, or function because the spirit was constantly following her. But then she put off meeting with the grieving mother for a full week. If it was bothering her that much, why did she put it off? Dr. Karen wrote, and I quote, Caputo appears to be greatly distraught by the little boy's constant presence, but she is strangely unavailable for a session until the following week. She spent this week in apparent spiritual agony, yet still had time to have lunch with friends, all the while complaining about her invisible friend, the little boy. Imagine telling a mother that her dead child is tugging at your soul every second of the day, but then you'll pencil her in next week after brunch. Then there's Pamela Weinstein, whose 3-year-old son was murdered in 1999. During a taping of The Ellen Show, Caputo zeroed in on her, and then she goes on to say, he's thanking you for loving him and respecting his choices. Weinstein was confused. Her son was 3 years old. He didn't have any choices that he was dealing with. She later told Radar Online, and I quote, she was referring to my son as being much older than he was. The reading wasn't anything close to what my son would have wanted me to hear. It did not offer closure at all. That's the kind of stuff that never gets shown on TV when the medium gets it wrong. And the result isn't comfort, but more grief, more confusion, and more pain.
Somebody lost a son in a tragedy. He tells me that he passed because he shows me the doves in his hands. She's right here, the woman in the blue shirt. Did you lose your son, ma'am? So just know that he's showing me the doves in his hands, which is my symbol for that he's safe and at peace with God. And he snapped his fingers at me, which is my symbol for that he left the physical world in an unexpected way. And wants you to know and thanking you for the way that you loved him and respected his choices and decisions. You didn't always agree with him, but you always respected him. Is that correct? He wants to thank you for that. And more importantly, that he's at peace. He actually leaned over and kissed you and said, thanks, Mom.
And in the moment when you're on live TV, you're sort of feel this pressure to react in a positive way and reaffirm what they're doing because you don't want to make a fool of them and yourself on TV. So like there's that pressure there and people end up coming clean later on. So keep that in mind. So the real harm, let's be blunt. Mediums can reopen old wounds that someone has also spent years trying to heal. And even worse, they can rewrite memories. A lot of people don't realize this, but they've proven that every time we recall a memory, our brain literally recreates it, rebuilds it from scratch, meaning it's vulnerable to outside influence. If a medium starts suggesting new facts about the deceased, it can overwrite a person's real memory and replace them with emotional fiction. And that's not really healing, that's gaslighting through fake talking to ghosts. And then there's a time when it's dangerous in other ways, when mediums drift into giving health advice from the dead, medical advice from their deceased. And yeah, they'll say things like your grandmother's spirit is telling you to avoid chemo, or your headaches are from bad energy, not a tumor. Those are the more severe examples. These people aren't doctors. They're not even psychics, but they pretend to speak for your dead loved ones while whispering sweet nonsense that could literally get someone killed. Sometimes they'll even be like, they'll say, oh, I see a problem with your heart. So then you'll spend your time and effort and money getting your heart looked at when it turns out you have colon cancer, right? It makes us ignore other parts of our body. That's the more subtle one. But look, sometimes the harm isn't even that deep. Sometimes just flat out manipulative. Caputo once joked, and I quote, I remember saying to my son one time when he was going out with his friends as a teenager, she said to him, listen, my friends are going to be watching you. And he's like, what friends? And I'm like, the dead ones. Ha ha, funny, right? Well, unless you're a kid being told that your mom is using ghost surveillance to spy on your weekend plans. And kids are more impressionable to this stuff and tend to believe it more. But still on the fence? You still think that fake mediums do no harm? Let me show you the kind of real life harm they can do. Here's a case from psychic medium Amy Bolesky. She's a big psychic over on TikTok, which had serious consequences after a single reading that she had. I want to show you a clip that I didn't see. I did make a video on her, and I didn't see this till after my video came out, and I would have included it in that video. But we're going to take a look at it here because it shows you an example of the severe consequences that can happen. This upcoming clip discusses people who take their own lives. If this topic is too much for you today, that's okay. You can just skip to the next chapter.
Debating doing this video, and this morning it sealed the deal.
I just want to point out that she's in the bathroom. She's got her straightener going, and that's an electric current. And also it could be picking up stuff from being on the bathtub. It could be picking up different things in the air too if she just took a shower. The REM pod is very easy to set off. I've done videos on this. So many people have done videos on this, so it doesn't mean anything.
You're here, aren't you? You are here. I can feel you. I'm doing this for your mom. Well, let's get to it. So I had a session a couple of years ago. I believe it was almost 3 years ago, give or take, with a woman. She wanted to see if what I did was real. That was her whole thing. She gave me the first name of a gentleman that she wanted me to channel. I brought him through. Call him her husband, but they weren't actually married. They had a couple of kids together, and one of their kids was a daughter. I believe she was anywhere between 18 to 21. Like I said, it was a few years ago, so I can't remember the minute things. But anyways, he came through and he was able to give clarification on not what only he did. Actually, I think that he went off and he got shebanged essentially. And he wrecked his car and he passed instantaneously. And he was so sorry that he did this to his wife. He's so sorry. And the daughter, who was older, 18 or 19 or 20 at that time, she missed her dad.
Her telling this woman that her husband's sorry that he got in a car accident too, that's kind of weird. That's putting guilt on the deceased. That's a very odd thing to do too. It's kind of scummy.
That they didn't believe in this at first. Their session, it was just the mom, her session.
Whenever these mediums and stuff are oh, these people don't believe in this, anyone who pays to go to a medium, especially Amy's expensive. So if you're going to pay that, there's part of you that believes. So I don't know how much she truly didn't believe. If you're willing to go to a medium, if you're willing to spend money, there's part of you that believes. So whenever they say this, it's complete crap.
It was so amazing that her and I both left in awe. And I think her session is up on my YouTube somewhere. But if this is you that I'm talking about, please email me. And if it is you, your email will pop up as an appointment that I've had with you, by the way. During the session, the dad was coming through and he was...
Why can't you remember the name of this person? And why can't you remember their email address if this was so important? And if this ghost that's there knows this person, why can't they remind you of their name so you can check your calendar and find it? I don't know if this story is true. If it is true, it's absolutely disgusting and horrible. It doesn't make her look good. I don't know. She thinks it makes her look good. And if it's not true, I wouldn't really be surprised because there's some holes in it. But if it's true, this is the example I want to show you.
He was talking about how he's excited that she was going and having lunch or dinner with the daughter coming up. He kept putting so much concern on the daughter. There are some things that I just don't know. And there are some things that they just don't tell me. Her session was so good. She went to dinner with her daughter. And I believe from what she let me know, she showed her our session. A week later, while I was at a cemetery doing an investigation, my husband and I received an urgent email letting me know, or letting us know, that our session was so convincing. It proved to her daughter that her dad still existed and that the afterlife existed, that her daughter decided to go there. I will forever remember that feeling.
You're a medium. You're doing this shtick. You know it's a grift. Like with Amy, like it's clearly a grift, right? And your grift caused someone's daughter to take their own life because you made them believe so much. Either this isn't true, or this is the point when she realized maybe that she wasn't truly psychic. Because there are a lot of people who start off truly thinking they are, and then they realize that they're not. But this is the turning point. If this really happened, this is your turning point. This is your chance. I mean, the fates even are telling, if you believe in fates here telling you, like, this is your chance to stop this, because what you did just took someone's life. That girl took her life because of this psychic, not because of her dad, not because of her mom, but because of this psychic. And she's taking no responsibility for it. And now she's saying that she's talking to her daughter, that this is her daughter on the REM pod, and she's talking to her daughter. And this is really intense. And why wouldn't you remember this person's name? Why wouldn't you remember their email address? And why are you putting this out there as content, telling the whole world that this woman's daughter took her life? Like, it's messed up. That's the other thing about Amy. She puts out people's stories, like, who haven't consented, clearly, because she doesn't even know this person's email address, right?
And when you watch this, if you see this, I know you were a follower here on TikTok. I know your daughter has been with me. I had a dream about her last night, even though I don't know who she is. But I have been so inclined to make this video. And as you can tell, my equipment's going off in the back, which means it is her here talking. So if you get this and if you see this, please email me. She's okay. She's fine. She's with her dad. But you have been on my mind for the last 2 weeks. But I just don't know how to find you.
Again, I don't understand how she doesn't have her contact information. That's just completely stupid. It makes no sense. But this story, if it's true, this is like heartbreaking. Like, why have you not taken responsibility for what you've done to this woman's daughter? And you're turning it into content and trying to get them to sign up for another reading, which you're probably going to charge them for, right? Yeah. This is like on clear display, but they all do this. They all have like no sense of like empathy or a conscience. They think this is okay. And this stuff is messed up. Let's not sugarcoat it. As I've said before, this stuff does hurt people. What Caputo does is emotionally exploitative, even if it looks like compassion. And this is where a lot of people mix these things up. They think that mediums are helping and they're not. The excuse that it brings comfort doesn't cancel out the damage when it goes wrong, horribly wrong. And for all the showmanship, all the tears, all the dramatic music, the person being comforted is often the medium's bank account.